Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with my TBR for March 2021 and also a little announcement that DramaQueenAthon is coming back. I'm hosting DramaQueenAthon in March, not for the entire month but for just 1 week. But it seems fitting because DramaQueenAthon started in March of last year, and to bring it back for International Women's Day again, the way it started, I thought I had to do it. I couldn't let this chance go. So in this video, I will be talking about what DramaQueenAthon this month, this year will be all about, as well as my TBR for DramaQueenAthon, as well as all the other books that I will be reading in March 2021. As we all know, International Women's Day is on the 8th of March, and to celebrate it, I will be reading only women's authors this entire month. And that is also what DramaQueenAthon is all about. But I am getting ahead of myself, so without any further ado, let's get into this video and let me share with you my plans for DramaQueenAthon this month, as well as the books that I plan to read in March 2021. So before we get on with this video, I'd just like to say that if you'd like to buy any of the books mentioned in this video, then please use my Amazon affiliate links given in the description box below. It would help me out a lot. Okay, so first up, let me talk about DramaQueenAthon. DramaQueenAthon is the name that I gave my readathons. So any readathon that I host anytime in the year, I usually name it DramaQueenAthon and call it an edition of it. I started it in March 2020 for International Women's Day, and since I'm the Melodramatic Bookworm, so I thought DramaQueenAthon would be a good name for it, and I'm pretty proud of it, actually. So this month I will be hosting a week-long readathon, not a month-long one, a week-long readathon from the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day, a Monday, to the 14th of March, which is on Sunday. So 7 days of reading, and there are no prompts. Nothing at all. The only rule that you will have to follow for this DramaQueenAthon is that during those 7 days, you will have to read books by just women authors. Read 1 book, read 10 books, read 100 books, anything, and you're done. Even if you read a few pages from a book by a woman author, you will have participated and won DramaQueenAthon. So that is the kind of chill, relaxed readathon that I am hosting for a week during International Women's Month. Anyway, since I'm reading only women authors this entire month, it's not going to be a problem for me. I feel like to pick and choose which books I want to read during that week. So there's no particular book in this TBR that I will be just picking out just for that week. Anything that I'm reading at the time, anything that I want to read from these books, I'm going to pick and just start reading. So I'm making it easy for you as well as for myself. So let me take you through all the books that I have chosen for my March 2021 TBR. I don't know if I will be able to get through all of these books, but I am hoping I will, like I do every month, and then end up not finishing them. I must tell you that I have very smartly chosen the books from the 21 books that I want to read in 2021 list as well. Every year before this, I've made lists and then I have not read all the books on this. At least 2 books have remained on every single yearly TBR. So this year I'm determined not to make that mistake. So what I did was I picked books by women authors from that list and chucked it onto this TBR. The first book that I've picked for this month is The Women Who Forgot to Invent Facebook and Other Stories by Nisha Susan. I will be reading this for International Women's Day, as well as Long and Short of It, which is a year-long readathon, short story readathon that I am hosting along with Nandini over at Read Dream Repeat on Instagram. Please go check our profiles out. We have all the details over there, and we also have highlights on our profiles, story highlights, which you can go through to understand what Long and Short of It is. So this is a collection of short stories, and the prompt for March for Long and Short of It is that we need to read short stories by women writers for International Women's Day. So it all ties up, right? So this is a book that I am really excited about. All of these stories talk about how love and technology intertwined, and that is what I remember. Plus, I'm in love with this cover. Next up is a book that so many people are excited for me to read, I feel like, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is an author who I have come to love after just having read one novel and one novella by her. And her writing is simply phenomenal. I love the way she brings out the shades in her characters, and I am super excited to read this. And this will also be the subscriber pick for the month of March, and I will be doing a reading vlog come book review for this book, and I am so excited as well as nervous to read this because it feels like this book is so widely loved. But still, whatever it is, I feel like this is a book that I'm really going to enjoy. This talks about Evelyn Hugo, a former superstar who is recollecting her life. And I have already spoken about this before, but I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid, she takes these lives of fictional yesteryear celebrities and she talks about how their lives went through, at least in the books that I recollect her having written. Next up is Ahalya by Koral Dasgupta. This is a book that I had added to a bunch of my TBRs last year, but I never ended up reading it. But I know I really want to read this book, so I added it to this TBR and hopefully I will get to it. This is the story of Ahalya, who is one of the most enlightened women of Indian mythology and also Sage Gautama's wife, and she was cursed by the sage for having indulged in a physical relationship with Indra. I have heard so many good things about this book from people who have read this book, from friends who have read this book, that it is beautiful, that Koral Dasgupta's writing is simply brilliant, that it makes me want to kick myself as to why I haven't read this book yet. Next up is The Heart Asks Pleasure First by Karuna Ezra Parikh, and this is supposed to be a story of love transcending multiple boundaries, and I am all for it. And I have heard nothing but good things about this book, and I've also heard that this book is as beautiful as its cover. I mean, just look at that stunning cover. I fell in love with it. I'm not going to lie, I actually requested this book because of the cover, but when I read the blurb, I was like, okay, give it to me, I'm going to read it. It's a sunny day in 2001 and Daya, a ballet student, is sitting in a park in Wales, far away from her home in India. Unbeknownst to her, she is about to meet Aftab, a young Muslim lawyer from Pakistan, and fall inexplicably in love. Even as Aftab battles his heart, their relationship transcends the divides of religion, nationality, and language. They forge profound bonds, but the cataclysmic events of the year will have dangerous ramifications and push them to confront the most difficult complexities of their lives. Next up is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This was at the heart of the Reading Rush controversy last year. This talks about performative allyship, and that's exactly what happened in the Reading Rush as well. When Amira is apprehended at a supermarket for kidnapping the white child she is actually babysitting, it sets off an explosive chain of events. Her employer, Alex, a feminist blogger with the best of intentions, resolves to make things right. But Amira herself is aimless, broke and wary of Alex's desire to help. When a surprising connection emerges between the two women, it sends them on a crash course that will upend everything they think they know about themselves, each other, and the messy dynamics of privilege. I'm definitely going to read this. I think I will read this for the week-long DramaQueenAthon. Next up is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. This is a book that I should have read a long time ago, but I did not read it. I even added it to a previous year's TBR. I don't know which year it was. I think it was 2019, 2018 or 2019. But I ended up not reading it because I'm like that. My brain is like that. But this book is all about making a name for oneself, living up to the name or transcending what one's name means. And I know the basic idea of it, but I don't want to talk about it without reading the book and without understanding what it really is. And I am also a little annoyed because I know how this book ends. I know how this book ends for one particular character, because I was reading a biography of one of the actors of the film based on this book, and that author, he spoiled the book for me. Why do you have to? I hate spoilers. Next up, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Eddo Lodge. This is also a book that I should have read last year itself, but I never got around to reading it. But yes, I don't think I have to say anything about this book. This is a non-fiction book and I feel like it is going to be a very powerful one. Why is the onus always on non-white people to educate white people? It's... Next up is Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth Gilbert is one of my favorite authors of all time. Her Eat, Pray, Love and City of Girls I loved so much. And when Elizabeth Gilbert is talking about creativity and her perspective and her takes on creativity, I'm going to sit down and listen, because she has some unique takes. That much we know, because if you follow her on Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm super excited to read this, and I know that I will read it, because right now I feel like I'm in a creative block, a creative rut, and I could do with some encouragement, and who better to give me that encouragement than Elizabeth Gilbert. Next up is Boys Will Be Boys by Clementine Ford. I love Clementine Ford's views, okay? And the way she dissects society's behaviors and how women are conditioned, how men are conditioned, and how patriarchy works, and how it has made everyone believe that men are the superior sex. And there are people who believe it. There are people who come hate on her, and okay, I don't want to get into that, but I read Fight Like a Girl last year and I loved it. It was one of my favorite books of 2020, and I know that I will reread it again, but I am going to read Boys Will Be Boys, and I know that I am going to get some new perspectives from this book of hers, and I'm really looking forward to it. Next up is Men Explain Things to Me by Rebecca Solnit. This is a collection of 7 essays, and it is apparently a touchstone of feminist movement, as Google tells me, and I am super excited to read this, because there are so many times that mansplaining, it just doesn't get over. Men think it's okay to go up to a woman and explain to her what she's not understanding. She's a woman, no, how she will understand. And I don't know if this is just what these essays talk about, but I am really intrigued and excited to find out what Rebecca Solnit has in store for me. Apparently the main essay in this book was the one that launched the word mansplaining. So Next up is The Beauty of Your Face by Seher Mustafa. I received an arc of this book from NetGalley and I haven't been able to read it, even though I added it to a ton of TBRs before. This is a story of Afaf Rahman, the daughter of Palestinian immigrants, and who is now the principal of a school in Chicago. And when a shooter lets loose in the school and attacks the people there, and as Afaf, she sees his progress through her school, she is thrown back, she is taken through her memories of how it was to live in Palestine. And these two stories coming together is supposed to be a really evocative one, and I am really intrigued to read this book. Next up is Firekeepers Daughter by Angeline Boley. I will be reading this book on audio thanks to Libro FM. Thank you, Libro FM, for the chance to read this book. This book is one of my most anticipated releases of 2021 and I'm super excited to dive right into it. And let me read out the blurb for you. This is the story of 18-year-old Donis Fontaine, who is a biracial, unenrolled tribal member and the product of a scandal. She has never quite fit in, both in her hometown and on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. Donis dreams of studying medicine, but when her family is struck by tragedy, she puts her future on hold to care for her fragile mother. The only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. Yet, even as Donis falls for Jamie, certain details don't add up, and she senses the dashing hockey star is hiding something. Everything comes to light when Donis witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into the heart of a criminal investigation. Reluctantly, Donis agrees to go undercover, but secretly pursues her own investigation, tracking down the criminals with her knowledge of chemistry and traditional medicine. But the deceptions and deaths keep piling up, and soon this threat strikes too close to home. Now Donis must learn what it means to be a strong Anishinaabe Ojibwe woman, and how far she'll go to protect her community, even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. And this is... And especially, just look at that cover also. It's... And the last book that I have chosen for March is Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. This has some instructions on writing and life, and Lord knows I need instructions for both. So I am super excited to read this, and as part of my self-development and education routine that I have decided I will take up in 2021, and given that so many of my goals depend on this book, I feel like I really should take a lot of notes when I'm reading it, and that's anyway going to happen, but you get my point. So those were all the books that I want to read in March 2021. Which of these have you read? Which ones do you want to read? Which books will you be reading in March? Will you be participating in DramaQueenAthon? Which books will you be reading for DramaQueenAthon? And what are you currently reading? What was your favorite book of February? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Another quick reminder, if you'd like to buy any of the books mentioned in this video, then please use my Amazon affiliate links that are in the description below. It would mean a lot to me, it would help me a lot. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.